Alright, I got this good chunk of sycamore. I mean, it's not great actually. It's got a very punky center, which is why this is a storm-fallen tree. I'm sure that's why it fell. But I'm going to see if I can't carve a kuksa from this. I think I can get one that'll be shallow but wide. It could just end up being a bowl. But I'm going to try to cut around the core. Definitely had some rot. But yeah, so what I'm going to be using to split is this. This is a Japanese tool, I believe it's called a nata. And it's a single bevel, pardon the rust, but it's a chisel grind. It's kind of like a combination of a knife and an axe. But from what I understand, one of the things they use these for over there is carpentry. They use it for precise cuts, especially via batoning. So we're going to go ahead and try this out. See if we can't get around this punky core. It may end up being something else, but we will see. Well, need a little bit more sturdy baton. I'm gonna go find one, and I'll be right back. I'm gonna go ahead and clean it up. Make it a little more comfortable to hold. This nata is really neat because it's a really good chopper. I mean, obviously I think it's technically classified as an axe. I'm not sure how viable this piece of sycamore is going to be. I don't know how long it's been sitting on the ground. But we will see. Alright, I think that'll do. Batoning, I think, is a little bit safer in a lot of situations than it is to use an axe, because you can't overswing and hit yourself. I know a lot of people in the bushcraft community are really opposed. I'm pretty sure it's about to break. Really opposed to batoning, especially with like regular knives. But especially with regular knives, but I believe this was built for this, so. Looks like it's doing an okay job. This is just a little cheap one. I believe this is from like the equivalent of like a hardware store. And actually try to knock that back in a little bit, because I don't want to be hitting on the handle side as much. So we're going to go ahead and, man, it's in there pretty good. So, knock in this. Oh, I hear something cracking. Looks like it's just about through. We'll try to continue on. see what we're working with. Yeah, I'm definitely seeing a lot of rot on the inside. Very punky wood. I don't know if this is going to be viable, guys. Go ahead and dig down in there, see how far that goes. Yeah, that's very punky wood. I don't know. I don't really know any other good spots to get any wood. This stuff over here is pretty punky too. I think I'm going to take another slice of this off. Use this nata. Take just a bit off. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this thing. Yeah, I want to carve a coop set, but I don't know if that's going to be possible with this piece of wood. I think I'm going to carve, because that looks just about good. I think I want to carve like a, maybe I'll carve like a tiny, like shallow, like dough bowl type thing. You know, it ends there. I bet I could. It looks like it ends there too. This looks like this section. I bet I could scoop all this out with an adze and probably just make the whole thing a big bowl. Smooth that belly out a little bit. Or not, maybe. Maybe we'll leave the natural curve. Refine it down with an axe. We'll do it live though. Figure it out as we go. Alright, I'll check right back in with you. I'm going to grab some different tools. Alright, back with my adze. Adze is just basically a sideways axe with a curved blade. Good for scooping out bowls. I'm going to go ahead and touch up this edge a little bit before I get started. Make sure to take care of your tools, and your tools will take care of you. For the inside, I like to use this. Never go cut into it. I've seen people do that. Not necessarily with this exact thing that I'm doing, but I've seen people use leather strops and go the wrong way initially. So yeah, we're gonna see what we can't do with this. See how far down this goes. Doesn't look like it's too deep. Okay, cool. I think we can make a dough bowl, like a long trough type thing out of this. Really start getting in there now. Always be careful when you're doing this stuff. Not being as safe as I should be right now. But I don't really have a perfectly ideal situation for carving right now. Getting some nice, these shoes also are safety toes, so. Oh, now I just gotta be careful not to miss the log, hit the stone. Yeah, I think we can get below all that. I think we can make a nice little shallow bowl. I'm thinking about right about there, flatten out the bottom. I think we can salvage this yet. I'm gonna start coming in from the side. Make sure you guys can see that. Yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. Making sure you guys are still in frame. Switch it around. Definitely getting there. Got some pinholes. Don't see them go all the way through, but we will see. Like I said, I don't know how long this has been sitting on the floor of the forest. I mean, we're already got a decent sized little bit of a bowl going. I'm going to zoom you out just a little bit. I think that'll be a little bit better. Yeah. Come in here, get rid of some of these big chunks so I can see what's going on a little better. Yeah, definitely seen lots of pinholes. We'll see. It may just be a decorative bowl. Yeah, I see pinholes on the outside. No one likes to see that. All right. This is going to be a real rough and tumble bowl. If it is full of pinholes like I think it might be, definitely a dough bowl for making my Viking flatbread. You have limited time, so I'm being a little bit more haphazard than I normally would be. Nothing too dangerous, but definitely not going to be the prettiest bowl in the world, but it'll be functional. Survival use for something like this is survival use for something like this could be, you'd want it to be a lot bigger, a lot deeper than I'm probably going to end up making this. But you could boil water in this. A lot of people are probably asking, like, oh, how can you boil water in a wooden container? And how you do it is you'd heat rocks in a fire. Carefully. You don't want to use rocks with water in them already. You want them to be pretty dry rocks. So I'd go find them not in a creek bed. and get them really hot. Drop them in one at a time, or a couple at a time. Make a pair of tongs out of wood, green sapling, bent over, cut in half, bent over. You can kind of pick them up, drop them in one at a time until enough of that heat gets transferred to the water. Let's see where I'm at on thickness. Got about an inch. So we're going to chill out here in a second with going super deep. Get some of these chips out first. But drop those hot rocks in, transfer their energy to the water. Water will eventually start boiling. I think we're getting there. Got about half an inch to an inch just about everywhere. I want to do some lighter strikes, more controlled stuff, but I'm going to try to have this laid down. So you could take a big log and use something like this, cut into it. Let's see where I'm at on the camera. But yeah, laying down tree, carve a big groove in like this. I mean, you're seeing this isn't taking too long. What we're at, like not even 10 minutes, and I've already got, I could hold water in this, and I'll boil a little bit of water in this, not too much, but yeah, definitely doing a survival situation. And you boil your water and you just scoop it out or use a straw to drink it. And that's how you can purify water. You don't want to drink, if you're not from the area and you're not used to drinking that water unfiltered or unpurified, you don't want to drink it because you haven't got the immune system to deal with that for that area. You can get all kinds of stuff. Waterborne illnesses are pretty common. Giardia, beaver fever, cryptosporidium, even some parasites. I mean, quite a few parasites, but you're usually not going to get that in flowing water. But if it absolutely came down to it, if you think if you're going to be able to drink the water and go a couple more days, and you know you're going to be out of that situation, or there's no other choice, so yeah, drinking the water is going to be a thing. But you have to take into account risk versus reward. It's like, yeah, I'm going to be rehydrating right now, but if I get diarrhea in the next day or two, I may lose way more liquid, get much more dehydrated than I am without water. Dysentery is no fun way to die. Not that I have experience with dying of dysentery besides an Oregon Trail, but I hear it's not fun. Alright. I don't know how long I want to make this bowl. I think I'm getting a little greedy, going as far out as I am. Oh, I think that's good. Yeah, I think we're gonna switch to some finer carving. We're gonna use this chisel, make sure you guys can see everything. Yeah, let me know if you guys, this was gonna be a kuksa, but this piece of wood, sometimes you gotta do what the wood wants you to do. You gotta listen to your projects, especially when it's made from natural materials like wood. Sometimes the tree says, I don't want to be a kuksa. I want to be a weird long bowl. And you say, okay, I'm making a weird long bowl today. It just be like that sometimes. Most of my tools I'm going to be using for this project are made by Beavercraft. They're not sponsoring me or anything, But pick these up on Amazon. Like, I've been really impressed. These are super budget tools. I got a whole carving kit. I believe it came with a spoon knife. It came with that adze. It came with something else, I think. I think it came with a sloyd knife. But, yeah, really impressed. Really good budget tools. Because it's like, some of these carving knives are like $600-700 sets. And it's like, okay, that's crazy. I am just a normal dude. I can't really afford to be dropping $700. Especially when you can, like, buy stuff like this. You know, this, I believe, is made by them too. It's pretty ugly because I've let it get all rusted out. Actually, I think some ferric chloride I use for knife making got on this, and I didn't know about it. Or maybe it was some gun bluing. Yeah, I think we're looking good. Do the light test with these pinholes. I've got a pretty bright flashlight. I don't see any light through them yet, so fingers crossed. They could be under the bark. I haven't started removing that yet, so we'll find out. Clean this side up. It's weird, 'cause I don't know about this wood, because it feels green, which makes me believe that it's wet, but the fact that it's punky, I don't know. Only the center was like that. You can see these big chunks. That's bizarre. I'm assuming that's why the tree took that, or the storm took that tree down. I have not carved in a while, but man, it's so rewarding. Especially when you're out here in the woods. It's quiet. Or at least it would be if I wasn't yammering on. Trying to get some of these deeper cuts out. Gotta be careful. Ooh, that's getting pretty close to the edge. I can kind of, it's hard to tell, but you can kind of pinch and get like a feeling of how thin it's getting. Definitely not going to go any more there. Do a couple. I'll get in there with a spoon knife later on and get that stuff out, but yeah, I'll do a kuksa video. This is supposed to be one, but like I said, the wood did what it wanted to do, and that was not be a kuksa. I really love carving with sycamore. I've heard some people say it's like not a good wood because it absorbs a lot of the flavor from your food, and I have found that with my other kuksa, that it does kind of taste of the soup I ate 5 meals ago in it, especially when I'm drinking water, but I don't really think that's that big of a deal. Unless you're eating something like particularly heinous out of it. Yeah, definitely getting there. And it's interesting because you learn the tools and you learn to feel like when a tool is getting close to its limits of what it can do, especially when it comes to cup and bowl carving. Like, there'll come a point when this chisel won't go anymore and I'll switch to a spoon knife. I think I do want to leave some like nice carving marks in here. I don't like to make my stuff too perfect. The inside I do like to leave pretty smooth. Like, you don't want any pieces that overhang. Let me find an example. You don't want stuff like this where you can fit like a fingernail or something under there, because that'll hold food. But depending on what you're using it for, you know, like if I was to make this and just leave my keys in this at home, that'd be perfectly fine. You know, it's gonna look rustic, it's gonna look cool. But yeah, I mean, and that's kind of a cool thing about wood projects like this. Like I carved an entire really cool, beautiful plate, but I don't know, the last, I'd say probably 5 minutes of carving it, I snapped it right in half. It dried out too quick, I think, and it just split. And I was really sad about it. And then I was like, you know what? I mean, I'm not going to be able to eat off of this anymore, but I'm just going to glue it back together. Glued it back together and then charred it, and now I use it to keep things in at home. And it's pretty cool. The horse flies are back. They're really bad this year. Don't know why. They're really bad in this forest particularly, I found. Yeah, you can see how much capacity is in there. I mean, that's... I don't know. I'm not good at gauging liquid capacities of things. I had one cup. I was like, oh, it probably holds like 16 ounces. It held not even half that. This carve's really nice. This Sycamore. Try not to cut into that bottom anymore. But I really like, I might leave these nice carve marks in, depending on what I'm going to use it for. And I can always remove them later. But it's just nice. It's cool to see bits of the process left over on the product. See, and I can feel when I get to a certain point when I'm carving this way, I can feel the chisel start to slip right about there. That either means it's one, getting to the limit of what you can use the tool for, or two, you just need to go from the other side. Especially with bowls like this. I don't want to chase that pinhole much further, but that one, that pinhole definitely looks like it probably goes through. So who knows? We'll see. We'll see. It'll be what it wants to be. And that may be a bowl, maybe a dough bowl, maybe a bowl for eating. Maybe just to hold keys. Maybe it'll sit on a shelf, hold seashells or something. There's no wrong answers. Maybe, if it's bad enough, it'll be firewood. And that's fine too. Got a buddy here with me today, my cameraman Joey. Say hi, Joey.
Hey, yeah.
He carved this really cool spork. Very smooth. Very cool spiral. He did a good job. Yeah, beautiful wood. Alright. I'll give you some olive oil to put on it, but I did not bring that bag. So now we're going to switch. I'm going to go ahead and grab my spoon carving knife. I like another Beaver Craft knife. I've used this one once or twice before. Once or twice before, but I really like this for getting in and doing some fine carving. Really gets some of the tool marks you don't want in there out. nice because it's like you kind of get different levels when you're carving stuff like this. Like you've got your heavy use tools, your axes, your adze, and you've got your like medium tools, which would be the chisels, and you've got your fine finishing tools like this, which leave a really nice finish. Man, it's pretty smooth. And the reason you may be asking why I'm carving the bowl before I carve like the shape of the bowl is sometimes you have to chase stuff. Sometimes you can carve a spoon or a bowl and get right to the end and you'll find a huge crack that runs through, and it's just, if you would have carved the outside, you would have wasted a lot more time. It's got some beautiful grain on it. Excited to see this with some oil on it. Definitely some pinholes, maybe. We'll see. I don't keep saying that, but this, I think I'm going to use a regular knife. Kind of come in here and get some of these edges straightened out. I don't want to take too big of chips off from the walls. I will take big chips off this side because I left it very thick. And it's like, yeah, you don't need fancy tools. I mean, like a beaver craft kit absolutely is good enough to get carving and started carving, learning whether or not you're actually into it or not. That's why I really like good budget stuff, because it's like you don't want to invest a whole bunch of money into something just to maybe not like it. Ooh. Gotta be careful with stuff like that. That might have been a little foolish, but I know that cut went deeper than it, so yeah. I think I want to start trying to level off this top a little bit so I can kind of see where else I still need to make cuts. I had entertained the idea of doing this video quietly, like quiet carving. Let me know if that'd be something you'd be into. Gosh, look at that wood grain, it's beautiful. I really love sycamore. I know it's not the best wood for eating with. But I mean, like my kuksa, my spoons, most of it's made from sycamore. And it's a gorgeous wood, but it does hold on to flavors just a little bit, so it's good to seal with oils. Trying to figure out my next step. It's definitely gonna have to come down. I've got a little bit of an issue over here where these chips came out from where I split it. Don't think it's a big issue. It'll just take a little bit off the capacity. I mean, it kind of has a curve anyway, so we'll see. I think I do want to take the adze back in here and kind of smooth this out, get these big chunks out, make it kind of evened up like this side. Yeah. All right. Go ahead and do that now. Oof. Now I think I'm going to go on with that chisel again. Come in and yeah, there we go. Make sure I'm still in frame. Oh yeah. It's a really great feeling when you're carving and your tools just glide through the wood. Really satisfying feeling. Yeah, I think it's coming together. Yeah, I think the carving kit I got was like 80 bucks, but you can buy the individual pieces for way cheaper. I think that adds is about I think it's like 30 bucks, 40 bucks. But yeah, good stuff. Check out Beavercraft. Not sponsored again. Yet. But yeah. Yeah, the channel's growing really good. Right now we're sitting at like 270 subscribers, which is amazing. Or no, 276. I'm about a quarter of the way. If I was going to get monetized, I'm about a quarter of the way to where I'd need to be to do that. It's been really cool. Like, really encouraging seeing people like and comment and talk about my stuff. I've gotten a bunch of comments, people being like, oh, I really love your videos. Long, it's just like we're hanging out, and it's like, yeah, that's good stuff. Heck yeah. I might have mentioned that in the previous video, but it means a lot to me. So I think I'm just about done with the very rough carving on the inside. I am going to leave it a little thick and probably have to call it quits at some point pretty soon here. It's getting dark and gonna be time to go home soon. And you don't want to carve your project too thin, especially with it if it's green wood. I think this is pretty green wood, feels like, because you'll get cracks. And this is gonna be a big piece, so typically for like a small kuksa, I would boil it in salt water in order to keep it from cracking while it's drying, and then let it dry out in a bunch of the wood shavings inside of a cardboard box. Yeah, actually, Joey has brought over his carving kit, which is pretty cool. It's got little sanding blocks, buffing compound, a strop, a piece of practice wood, all kinds of chisels, spoon knife, Sloyd knife, carving knife, and a sharp, I don't really know what that one's called. But yeah, they're pretty good looking, and $20? $20 So I mean, like something like that could absolutely get you in the hobby and get, you know, you practicing. It's everything you need to get started. Yeah, thank you, Joey. Yeah, cool stuff. But yeah, you don't want to try this stuff out too fast because it will crack. I was really lucky with my first Kuksa to not get any major cracks. But I think I'll probably leave the walls decently thick. Clean up the inside a bit. Bottom's already pretty thin, so that may be a problem. But yeah, cardboard box. Gather up the wood shavings if you can. That's why I like to do it at home on in my yard on a tarp. Collect all the shavings from there because it just helps it dry out a little bit more gently. So I think I'm going to generally shape. This is where projects can die really easily, is doing the rough shaping. I'm going to do rough shaping with an axe, or maybe, yeah, you know, actually we're going to try the non-tap. We're supposed to be decent at this, so I've got the general outline of where I want my bowl, so now I can kind of figure out where I want my outside. Like I'm going to probably have this be the end. I'm going to level this out, flatten out the top, chop some of these end bits off. Like I said, I want to leave some meat on it so that it'll dry a little bit slower. Sorry, I'm just looking at the wood. I don't know, maybe I'll put a handle on it. Maybe I'll put like a handle like right where that adze blade is. Maybe I'll try to keep some of that. It's pretty punky though. Some of this may be out of your viewing angle. Apologies on that if that is the case. But I gotta get this done up. All I'm doing right now is chopping out a little bit under where the punky wood is. I'm just trying to get that kind of leveled out. Wow, that seems actually pretty good. I really like that chisel grind on there. Yeah, I think that's almost to where the end of the stuff is. I like that grain there. We will see. Ooh. Some pretty wood grain on there. I think I want to try to take this corner in. Alright, I think I'm going to cut this one off here. We'll keep working on this and return for part 2. Check back in, like and subscribe. Get out in the woods and stay safe.